So hello guys, finally I am doing the Keylogger project. So first of all, I want to say that this Keylogger is for educational purposes only. It's not for you stealing accounts or breaking into computers and all that stuff. Now, second, I want to say that this Keylogger is very advanced. It has many good features. Okay, so let me go through these features. So our Keylogger saves any kind of keystroke and any kind of special cases. It saves computer information like RAM, hard disk, operating system version, and so on. It saves IP address, MAC address, ISP name, very important information. It saves clipboard. So what is clipboard? When you copy something, this text immortal goes to my clipboard. So a user might copy a password and the hacker has to know what the user has copied. So from now on, we are the hackers, okay? Think as a hacker. This is the purpose of this video, is to make, because when someone knows how to create something bad, he knows how to avoid that, right? And this is what I want you guys to learn, to avoid these kind of things and not to use them in order to steal some stuff. Our Keylogger will also be immortal, which means that you cannot delete it. I will show you later how you can delete it, because it requires some specific skills that only we know it. So in order to take passwords and emails, we have two ways. The first way is to send via an email the files that are responsible for storing passwords and emails and all that stuff. The second way is to delete these files. So the user, when he opens the web browser creates these files again, but the files are empty. So the user, when he logs in on Facebook, he has to type again the email and the password, because there's nothing inside those files. So those files contain nothing inside, which means that he has to enter them again. So this is what I will use: delete the web browser folders. Next thing is to know where the victim is from. Is he American? Is he British? Is he Italian? Is he France? And so on. Next thing is to make our Keylogger undetectable, so no antivirus can find it. And the last thing is how we spread our Keylogger. We have two options: spread it as an exe file, but the exe file is very small, it's 12 kilobytes. So the victim will notice that, wait a moment, this is a very small file, maybe it's something bad. Or spread it as an installation file. So the installation file is something like 5-6 megabytes. And we make the installation file silent, so when the setup is completed, the program runs without the permission of the user. So let me open my Visual Studio. So I have created already a project. Okay, actually let me create this again. Actually no, I will not create this again. So just create a new project, name the project SVC host, and then add 2 text boxes and 4 timers. Okay, for the text boxes, click on the arrow and click on multi-line and change the size of the text box for both of them. Okay, the next thing is for the timers. So timer 1, make it enabled and interval to 1. Timer 2, make it enabled and interval to 10,000. Timer 3, enabled, intervals to 7,000. And timer 4, false, interval to 100. So because this will be a very long, the code is very long, I will stop the video, paste the code, because I have already created my Keylogger in another project. So I will just paste the code and then I will explain what the code does. Okay, so let me pause the video and paste some code here. So go on your SVC host, right click this and add a class. You will call the class keyboard. Okay, So this is a part of code that I found on the internet. So this is the class that takes the keystrokes. I didn't have time to create my own class, so I give credits to this guy called Codlari, I think, or Lama. Anyway, I don't know how this guy is called. This is a website. I give credits to this guy. I didn't have time to create my own Keylogger keyboard class, so I will create it. I will use this one. So I will just copy paste this code. You will have the code under the description, in the description, so you don't have to be afraid for this. You don't have to copy and paste all this stuff. You just have to copy and paste all this stuff. Okay. Anyway, so just copy paste this stuff, and yeah. So we are done with the keyboard. Save this, and now we go to our form 1. So under form 1 we copy also this stuff, and under form 1 we paste this. Very well. Now next step is to create a keyboard language functions. So as you see here, I have some languages in my keyboard. Okay, so we need all these languages. This will give us, you know, this will give us an idea of where the victim is from. So if the victim has languages like English and Albanian, then I guess the victim is from England or Albanian, right? So we need the code to find all the languages, all these languages. So let me go through this. So create a private sub called keyboard languages, and inside the private sub paste this code right here. So what does it do? So okay, for the moment stop the video, write the code, and now I will explain what does it do. So we start from 0 and until the input language is .count -1. Okay, so we take the number of this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1, 4. So we start from 0 to 4, and we increment by 1. And then our text box 2 takes all the languages inside. So if we create a button, so I create a button and I call this function, so keyboard languages. So when I will click on this button on the, okay, we have an error. Okay, so string builder, import system.text. You cannot run this, so import system.text. Now let me run this. So when I will click on this button, on the second text box, on the right text box, we will have our languages. You see Russian, Romanian, French, Albanian, US. And this is what we have here. And this is our aim, our goal. Very well. Now, next thing is to create an active window title function. So this will be our function. I found this on the internet. So thanks to the guy that created, that posted this function. So this is the function. So what does it do? It takes the window title. So right now the window title is SVC host Microsoft Visual Studio. When I go to my computer, the title is my computer. When I go on Mozilla, the title is inbox, test code executable, Gmail, Mozilla, Firefox, and so on. Okay, so this is what we mean by window title. Okay, active window title. Very well. So this is what this function does. Now, next step is to open. So let me delete this button 1 and the code from button 1. I just wanted you to see how this works. So go to form 1 and double click on your timer 1. And here, this is the code that we need. Okay, so this timer 1 takes the active window title. The interval is 1, which means that it's very fast. Okay, so when I click on this and then I click on this, it takes all the different window titles. Okay, it's very, very fast. So we have a variable here called string, as you see, which is equal to nothing. So if string is not equal to nothing, then we get the active window title, and in the text box 1 we pass the window title, okay, in this bracket, and then we add a new line, and then this is my part of code. This is what I did for this part. So come on. Anyway, so from these two arrows, arrow 1 here and arrow 2 here, you see that there is a code clipboard.getText.toString. So this takes everything that is inside the clipboard. So if I run this, so let me copy paste this one, okay? I click on this and I go to copy. So I copy this part and I will run my keylogger. You see we have form 1, and then inside here, inside the two arrows, we have our clipboard. So let me copy 1. So the next time that I go somewhere else, you see the title changes and our clipboard now is 1, because this is what I copied. I go to my computer, I go to Mozilla, and all this stuff is, as you see, is saved. You see, inbox, Windows Explorer, my computer, start menu. Okay, very well. Now next thing is to create a function that takes our keystrokes, because this is about Windows. Okay, this is about the window title. But if we run the keylogger and I type something here, you see nothing goes here because we have no function for our keystrokes. So after the end sub, this is the code that we need. So private sub key down handles key.down. So it handles our keyboard class, okay? So, and this adds to the text box 1 our key. So if I run the code now, the keylogger, I type something, we have nothing. Okay, doesn't work for some reason. Anyway, I will okay, let me see this for a moment. I guess it doesn't work because we haven't finished yet. So anyway, now next thing, we open timer 3, because in timer 3, guys, we make our keylogger immortal. So we have an error here, so we have to import system.io. So go down here, import system.io. Okay, so now we don't have the file error. Very well. So now this part is for Windows 7 and Windows XP. So what does it do? It makes our keylogger immortal. So because in order to run our keylogger every time the computer starts, we pass the keylogger, the program, inside the startup folder, okay? Now if the user goes to the startup folder and deletes the keylogger, then the keylogger cannot run next time the computer runs. Turns on and reboot, okay? So this means that every time the user deletes the keylogger from here, our program has to create it again. Alright, and this is what we do here. Because if we do not create this again, if the user deletes the keylogger from here, and we do not create this again, then the keylogger will not run again. Okay, so this is the code that makes our keylogger immortal. Okay, so we take the executable path of our keylogger, and we also copy the path where to copy the keylogger, and then we check if the file exists. So if this file exists, so this is the path for the startup. You see, this is for Windows 7, app, data, roaming, Microsoft Windows, startup, start menu, programs, and then startup. So if the file system.exe, I will name this svc host. So if the file svchost.exe exists, then do nothing. But if it doesn't exist, so else, create the file. So copy the executable file inside this path. The same thing we do for Windows XP, but just let me change the name here, svc host. Very well. Okay, so now we need to go to project. You go to your menu, project, and then go to svc host properties. And here we create two variables, part and browser. So part is an integer, browser is a byte. They both have the value 0, so we're fine. So close this and save the changes. Okay, very well. So now what we need is to work with our load function, load event. So go to your form 1, double click this and paste the code. By the way, let me show you guys again the previous code. So just stop the video, okay, whenever you want, wherever you want, and paste it. Paste the code. Okay, so now let me go to my load function. So you will have all the code. I just want to say that all the code is in the description for this video. It's not in a file. You have all the code in the description, okay? So I copied my load things here, and I just need one more code here. So after the load function, load event, here you say keyboard languages. So we call our keyboard languages. So here we have a select case statement. So select case, my settings.browser. Browser when we start is 0, okay? So in the case that this is 0, then we make it 1, we save the changes and we reload it. Now this is the first, so when we start the browser, this is what we do the first thing after we find the keyboard languages. The second thing is to check if our my settings browser is equal to 0. So if it is equal to 0, which is true the first time we run our keylogger, then we make it 1. We save the changes. And then we continue with the next part of code. Now the second time we run our keylogger, it says case 1. So in the case, if the case is 1, because it's not anymore the case 0, right? Because we made this 1. So now the case is 1, so browser is 1 and the case is 1. So select case 1, we start timer 4. Timer 4 for the moment has nothing inside. But as we said, in order to take passwords and emails, we have to delete the folders for all the browsers. This is what timer 4 will do. We'll delete all the folders for our browsers. And this is what we do here. We call this, we start the timer 4. And then we will see what we do later. So this takes the time. So textbox1.text equals to now. So now gives us the time, and then 2 new lines. Now this part of code, so here we have an error. So go on the error and then import system.component model. Okay, so import this one. Import system.component model. So this part of code will give us all the information of our network, or actually of the victim's network. Okay, so this will give us IP address, MAC address, ISP name, and many more network information. This part of code, so copy the code if you want. Actually, you have to copy the code anyway. So now the next part of code is this one. So this part of code, okay, copy the code. I am showing you guys the code, or just go to your description and copy the code from there. Okay, so this code now gives us some information for our operating system. Okay, you know, memory, computer name, screen resolution, operating system, RAM memory, remaining RAM memory, and so on. Then we have the k.create hook. So this create a hook, and this is how we can take our keystrokes. And then we start timer 1 and we start timer 2 also, but they are already started, so anyway, it doesn't really matter this part of code. We can delete this if you want. Okay, so now I will work with my timer 4. Okay, so timer 4, we said that we'll delete all the folders of our web browsers. So this is the code. It is actually pretty huge, to say the truth, as you are noticing, as you see now. So I will explain. Okay, so this is this is for Windows 7. Okay, hopefully this works also for Windows 8, and this is for Windows XP. I haven't tested this with Windows 8 because I don't have Windows 8. So just go to your. Okay, so I will check this with Windows XP. So I go to my computer, I open my local disk, and then anyway, guys, so all these paths are paths for your user folder, your web browser user folder. So if I go to my local disk, and then I know this is a bit complex, documents and settings, Reno. So this is Windows XP again. Okay, if you have Windows XP, do this step. If you have Windows 7 or Windows 8, do this step. Take this path. Go to your computer, and then go to your local disk, users, your username, AP data, roaming, Mozilla, Firefox, profiles. Because I'm on XP, I'm using this path right here. So application data, Mozilla, Firefox, profiles. So this is my profile, guys. Okay, so this is a profile that I have for my browser. So if I delete this, then I have to start typing my passwords and emails again from the beginning. And this is what the hackers want. So what do we do with this code is that we delete the directory where our web browser profiles are existing. Okay, we delete them completely from our web browser. So I have done this for Mozilla, Chrome, Internet Explorer, and Opera for both Windows 7 and Windows XP. You can you can search on Google for, I don't know, for other web browsers. You can search for Google for Netscape or for Safari. So you can search where the username folder exists, and you can take the folder path and then delete it, as I have done right here. So environment username .toString gives the username of your Windows account. So my Windows account name is Reno, so this is Reno for me. So this is what timer 4 does. It deletes the folders. Okay. Now we have to work when our keylogger closes. So when the user closes the computer, our keylogger closes also. So when the keylogger closes, we have to send an email with everything that exists from the last time we send our email till the time he closes the computer. I will show you guys what I mean. So go to your form 1, click on your form 1, go to your Thunder right here for events, go to your form closing, okay, and double click this form closing. So inside here you will need this code. First of all, we also have to add some to import. So import system.net.mail. So after you import this, you will have no errors down here. Okay, so what does it do? it takes, okay, anyway, so it takes our email and our password in order to work, first of all. Second, for our subject, we have our username. So my username is Reno. And then we say turned off, because this is form closing, guys. This is a form closing event. So we have to know that, you know what, at this moment, the user is closing his computer. Okay? And this is how we know this. Because we add this part, this text in the subject. So username plus turned off, and then the part number, because we have created a part variable, so we know how many parts we have for a user. For a user, we might have 100 parts, so we have to know which email is first and which email is next. For the body, we have the textbox1.text, which is our keystrokes and the active titles, titles, I think. So for this purpose, for this keylogger, you need a Gmail account. I have tried this with Hotmail and Yahoo, and it doesn't work. So I'm using a Gmail account. I have already created a test Gmail account, which is this one. So every time you see email, change it with text with email. Every time you see password, test it with the password. The password is this one for me. So this is my password. So you have one field for password and 3 fields for email. This one, and this one. Very well. So every time you send an email, so after this we send the email and we increment the part. So every time you send an email, you increment the part. Okay. Now the last thing is our timer 2. So you double click on the timer 2 and you add this code. So this code is pretty much the same like this one, but we stop timer 1. So timer 1 takes the active window title. Okay, timer 1 uses this function, active window title. So we stop the active window title. When we send the email, we stop the active window title. Then we send the email. So our subject is again the username and the part, and also textbox2.text. Textbox2.text takes our keyboard languages. All right. So we can have an image of our victim, where the victim is from. Then our mail message body contains some more stuff for the victim. Okay. So you can search what compare info is, what display name is, what English name is, what left language tag name is, and so on. And then in the end, we have textbox1.text. Again, for your convenience, go to my description and copy this timer 2 code. So we send the email, and after we send the email, we clear the text box. So every time we send an email, we clear the text box, guys. And then we start again timer 1. So let me change again copy the email. So you copy the email here, you paste it here, and you paste it also here and here. And the password is just one field, this one. So I think we have done everything. And okay, so this part again is the increment of our part. So if we run our keylogger now, everything will work. Now our next step is to make the keylogger, how is it called? To make the keylogger, not to hide the keylogger anyway. So the user cannot see the keylogger, to make it invisible. So I start my keylogger. Of course, now I can see it because we need to check what we're doing. So the stuff that I type doesn't work, but everything else is working. So I go somewhere. So I have some mistakes here. So let me change. Let me fix the mistakes I will come up with to you guys. So I will stop the video. Okay, guys. So I found a mistake. So first of all, at the beginning, delete this piece of code, this line of code, to Unicode X. So you delete all this thing. Okay. So you have only dim with events, private declare function get foreground window, private declare function get window text, and dim string as string equals to nothing. So this is all what you need. Now, in order to take the keystrokes, you have to go to your project. So click project up here at the menu and go to the last one, SVC host properties. So here you have to go to debug. Now, by default, this is enabled. So enable the Visual Studio hosting process. So this is enabled. You have to change this. Okay, so deselect this one and save your settings. So next time that you will run your Keylogger, it will take all the inputs. So if I go here and I search, I go on YouTube. So I type YouTube. YouTube.com, and I search something on YouTube. I don't know. Radioactive. I just want to say you guys that because our Keylogger is sending an email every after 10 seconds, you will have some lags every after 10 seconds, a very small lag. Of course, if you make the Keylogger to send emails every after 5 seconds, that will be a total disaster. Your computer will lag all the time. Alright, so be very careful with that. Make the intervals, so the time that you send an email, make it something like 30 minutes or 1 hour, something like that. Okay, don't make it 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Anyway, so I searched radioactive. I'm closing my my Keylogger now. Very well, and we go here. I think that not this one. No, so these are empty because, you know, the last 30 seconds I did nothing. Okay. Okay, yeah. So this one, as you see, I pressed L, shift key, and then I typed radio. You see, so this bug is the delete. This is the backspace. This is the down keyboard, the down key on your keyboard. So this takes our keystrokes very well, and our Windows title. So everything works fine, guys. All right, our parts work very well. So yeah. Now I will delete everything. So your Keylogger works very well right now. As I said, copy everything that I have done in the description. So you will have all the code in the description, and also I will transfer the code in the site called how is it called? I don't remember. Anyway, so you will have the code in many different locations. The fastest location is the description. So go there, copy the code, and paste it. I have explained, I think, everything. So now the next step is to make the Keylogger invisible. So go back to your properties. So go click on this one to go to your properties. Now this one. First of all, the opacity is 0. Okay. The Windows state is minimized. Okay. Show in taskbar is false. Okay, I think this is everything that we need. Yeah, so this is everything that we need. Now if you go to your project and you go back to your SVC host properties, in your application, if you change the so if I run this, my keylogger runs on the task manager, but runs under the name SVC host and by the username Reno. Okay, and the memory that it takes is huge. It's actually very big. It's 23 megabytes. So as a hacker, this is how you do it. Now, as a user, in order to be, safe, you have to notice that since this is a SVC host is a system process, okay, and has a username system. Now, my keylogger has a name svc host.exe as this one, but the username is Reno. So automatically, for me, this is a keylogger. This is a virus. Plus, the memory is huge. It's 24 megabytes with not even 4 megabytes. So anyway, guys, now the next step is to go to our installation. So in order to spread this keylogger, you can go to your Documents, Visual Studio, Projects, and I open SVC host, bin, debug, or release, and then you go to your build. Okay, so you go to your debug, and here you have the svc host exe file, which is very small, 36 kilobytes. So you can a hacker can give you this piece of code, this piece of program, which is very small. So you have to be very careful. Why this program is so small? Okay, there's a reason behind this. So anyway, guys, now so as I said, every time you go and you delete, so is SVC, okay, wait a moment, Reno SVC host, very well. So the timer that copies my keylogger is timer 3. So timer 3 enable is true, intervals is 7 thousandths, which means 7 seconds. So I run this. Okay, so do we have, so our keylogger has to copy the file in the startup. It doesn't. Okay, this is not happening. Why? So let me see why this is not happening. Users, documents. So we are right here. Startup. Yeah, startup. So start menu, programs, startup, svc host.exe. It's very weird. Let me pause the video so I can see the mistake. Okay, guys, so my mistake is the C drive letter. So as you already know, or you might know, my local disk driver name is F, and I have this C, so it cannot find C. So 99% you have this C. I have this F. So let me see if I have the same mistake somewhere else. Here also. So be very careful, guys, with your hard disk letter. Okay. So that was my mistake. Very well. Alright, so now when I will start my keylogger, after 7 seconds we need the keylogger file right here. Let's see if it works. Yes, you see, so now we have the keylogger file right here. If I delete this, the user might think, oh great, now I deleted the virus. This doesn't exist with our keylogger. Our keylogger will create it again, will create itself again, and it just did it. Even if I delete this again, our keylogger will create itself again. You see? So in order to delete the keylogger, you have to go to your task manager and delete and the process of our keylogger. So this is our process, svc host. So I end the process, and now I can delete my keylogger, and my keylogger will not create it again itself. No matter how much time will pass, we will not have something here. As you see, we have nothing. Alright, very well. So I think we did everything. Now, next step is to create an installation for our keylogger. So for this purpose, so let me save my project, close it. For this purpose, I will use install child. Where is it? Install child. So install child is a program that makes installations, that creates installations. Okay. So this is the main window. So you create a new project, and I will change this to so a hacker might name this as a crack. So FIFA 2004 crack or something else. Okay. So it is up to you guys to name this whatever you want. I will name this FIFA 2004 crack. You select basic MSIA project and you click OK. You wait for a moment. And here then we go to your installation designer. Actually no, you go to your application information down here. So your company name, I will say EA. Specify your application name, I will name this FIFA 2004. The version, type whatever you want here, it doesn't really matter. Edit the default installation location. So the version number must contain only numbers. Okay. Alright, so you click on the installation location, and here you can create an installation location. So I will not have this one, so delete. I will create, so you have to delete everything. Delete this, and then you have to delete this one also. But this is selected, so a hacker will create the installation folder inside the Windows folder. So click here, new directory. I will name this system, okay, and I will right click this, and I will double click this. How it works? Yeah, I will double click this. Okay, double click this and then press OK. Go again to the installation location. So as you see now, this is selected and this is not selected anymore. Programs file folder. So delete this one and click OK again. So we have created our installation folder. Now next step is to see, so nothing here, installation architecture, nothing here, application files. So this is what we need, and you go to add files, and then you go to your documents, Visual Studio 2010, projects, svc host, bin, debug, and you click on the file. But wait a moment, release, nothing here. Okay, so you click on the bin, debug, and you click on the svc host. Actually, you can add all of them. So let me do this. Let me add all the files. So I will delete this and I will add all the files. Yes to all. Next. Wait for a moment. Next. Finish. All right. So application shortcuts. You will delete this one and this one. And you will create your own shortcut. You will create your shortcut inside the... Wait a moment. Actually you go here, other places, shortcuts. You click on this. Yes. And you will delete this one, and EA. You will delete everything. You will delete the folder, okay? And you go to Startup, New Shortcut, and you will name this. Actually, you have to find the file here. So you go to Windows folder, System, and you will select svchost.exe. And you will name this svc host. All right. So this is for the shortcut. You will need this. Okay, next step is application register. No, installation. Okay. Down here, so this is for the agreement dialog. No agreement dialog. Do you want to prompt the user to company? No. Yes. The installation of your application. No. Do you want the user to be no? Okay. This is the most important one, the last one. So click on the last one, yes. Go to Pros, Windows folder again, System, and so this is for the executable launch application. Okay, you will need this. So when the program will finish the installation, it will execute the virus. Okay. Now, after this, you go to Dialogs, Other Places, and you click on Dialogs. So here we have to go to Property Manager. All right, and here we will create a new property. You will name the property Launch Program, and you will change this to 1. Copy this very carefully, okay? Launch Program, as I have this. After this, you go to User Interface, Dialogs, and then Set Up Complete Success, right here. How I do this? Wait a moment. Here, yeah. So you click on Setup Complete Success, and you click on this one, English United States. So you have to, because this will be automatically enabled, because this is what we did here actually. The property manager, we launch the program automatically by default. By default, where is my dialogues? So by default, this is disabled. Okay, we do not launch our program by default. The user has to set it to true. But in our property manager right here, we make this one. Okay, so we launch the program, but we have to to make the visible false, so the user doesn't see this. So I will change the height to 0 and the width. Okay, no, all right. We can what can we do? We can delete this actually. So click on this, right click, delete. Yes. Launch program. Actually, I don't know if we delete this, maybe it doesn't work. So okay, redo this. So click on this undo button. So we have to make this visible. Oh, visible false, and then we are looking for launch program text visible false again, but is already false. So this is okay. So delete this one, delete the text launch product name, and this one make it height 1, width 1, and I think yeah, we cannot see that anymore. Very well. So go back to the project assistant, because you do now the final step, build installation. Click on the select executable and click build installations. And guys, after all this time, how much time? After 50 minutes we finished, finally. So automatic update notification disabled. Okay, has been created. Finally we are done. So I close this one, start my computer, local disk, how is it called, install style 2010 projects, FIFA project assistant, single exa image. So follow my steps here, and then you go to disk images, disk 1, setup. So this is your installation. Copy this and paste this on your desktop. Okay, so this is your installation, guys. So that's all. We are done. We are totally done. Next step, is to install this. So let me install this. Next, complete install. So right now the program is not running, as you see. SVC host, there is no SVC host here. But when I will click finish, SVC host appears and is running. So if I go to all my programs, startup, SVC host just created itself again. So that's all, guys. The program works. Don't forget to change the, so this is 0. Now we must have part 1. Yeah, part 1. So the program works very, very well. Guys, do not forget to change your intervals, because I have this 10 seconds. You do not need this 10 seconds. Your intervals must be, for 1 hour or for 30 minutes. So for 30 minutes is, so 1 minute is 60,000 intervals. Okay? So 30 minutes is multiplied with 30, 180,000 intervals. 180, actually no, 1,800,000. So for 30 minutes. Okay, so go to your timer 2 and change your intervals to, since 60,000 is for 1 minute, and then 100,000 is for 10 minutes. Okay, and so on. So thank you for watching. I know this was a very hard project. I hope that you have done everything right, guys. I'm very sorry if I haven't explained the things very, very well. Anyway, so subscribe to the channel, like this video, and don't forget, do not use this project, this Keylogger, for bad purpose. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching. See you next time.